Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we now have official confirmation that The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and Tolkien's works will now be up for sale after the rights that Warner Brothers had have diverted back to its original copyright holder. It is saying it's going to be up for auction and the price for it is starting at $2 billion. That's what it's valued at. Let's take a look at this Variety article and see what they have to say about this and who could potentially be in the market for it. So here it is on Variety: Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit film and gaming rights up for sale. Gaming rights, that's the one I've been waiting for. Hollywood is about to stampede into Middle-earth. An array of movie, merchandising, gaming, and live event rights to Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and other titles from J.R.R. Tolkien are coming up for auction now that the Sol Zions has decided to sell its Tolkien holdings. Zions has hired ACF Investment Bank to handle the sale process, which is unfolding this week as bankers make the rounds of the logical Hollywood buyers. So they're probably going to studios and a bunch of Hollywood studios and other places to see who's probably got the best capital and the amount that they could probably purchase this for. But with the game industry as well, would Sony be up for it? Because they've got the movie and gaming. But Microsoft could be also in the mix because Xbox, man, they could make these games. Because as we'll see, Warner Brothers, who also held the rights, well, they also made games with The Lord of the Rings, with the Shadow of Mordor series. The Tolkien properties are projected to fetch at least $2 billion based on recent high valuations from top-tier IP and content producers. The timing of the sale process is not accidental. Amazon is set to premiere its long-awaited, mega-budgeted TV series rendition of the enduring Lord of the Rings saga, Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power, on September 2nd. Amazon is at the top list of the prime candidates to pursue the additional rights now held by Zions. Now, if Amazon buys it, they obviously have the capital, they have the money for it. Let's take a look at just how much they have according to Go Banking Rates. As of October last year, market cap is at 1.75 trillion. So they definitely have enough to purchase this. Now let's take a look at other places like Sony. Let's take a look at what their estimated cap is. 136 billion. Look, they can afford it, but it's going to take a dent. It's going to take a little bit of a dent. As opposed to Amazon, which 1.75 trillion, there's not really any dent in that. And then you're looking at Microsoft as well. Theirs is 2.28 apparently on their market cap, 2.28 trillion. Even though Amazon is doing Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power on the series, and they have 1.75 trillion in market cap, Microsoft could use a bit more of their leverage and maybe overprice it and then take it out from underneath Amazon. We'll see what happens, but let's take a look at what else they have to say. Zions Holdings encompass rights to exploit Lord of the Rings and Hobbit properties in film, video games, merchandising, live events, and theme parks. Well, Disney could be one, but I don't know if they have enough for it, honestly, compared to Amazon and Microsoft, but let's take a look. It also includes limited matching rights should the Tolkien estate decide to make movies or other content based on the two compilations of Tolkien's writings that were published after his death, so The Silmarillion and The Unfinished Tales. Warner Brothers also maintains some film development rights to Lord of the Rings through its ownership of New Line Cinema. And then Warner Brothers last year announced plans for an anime theatrical feature to be produced with New Line and Warner Brothers, The War of the Rohirrim. I remember that when I heard that. But it's understood that in Zions Co's view, substantial live action film rights reverted back to them last year in part because Warner Brothers had not been actively developing new Lord of the Rings related content. So they believe they have the rights. That development, plus the anticipation for a new Amazon series, was enough to convince them the time was perfect for sale. Because right now you've got this new Amazon show coming out, so you want them to probably pick up the rights and they've got a hell of a lot of money to do it. But you've also got other places which, what has Amazon done for gaming? And here's where it talks about the loophole with Amazon. One form of media that was carved out of the deal with Zions back in the 1970s was the right to produce a TV series that was longer than 8 episodes. So that loophole allowed Amazon to cut a deal directly with the Tolkien estate for the Rings of Power, and they didn't have to go through Warner Brothers. The only thing I want from a gaming in the future is a remaster or a complete rebuild of the original The Two Towers and Return of the King games. That's what I want. Now, if someone can do that, if they buy it and they announce that they're going to remaster these 2 games, then I'm down. And you've also got the ones where Warner Brothers Interactive made the Shadow of Mordor games. So Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. If all these rights revert back, they can get more of these games. Yeah, a bit spammy, but I mean, it's still cool. Still cool to run around Middle-earth and do that stuff in that game. Big thing for me, if you announce these 2 right here, the remaster, I am fully in. But that's where we're at. Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit IPs will be sold for movies and gaming and other means. We'll find out who buys it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video out there, and I'll see you in the next one.